Hey guys, it's your girl Hexa. And let's be real. We all love a good cult documentary, right? It's like a train wreck you can't look away from. But have you ever thought about the messed up stuff behind closed doors? The kind of stuff that keeps you up at night and makes you question everything about humanity. I've gone down some dark rabbit holes on the internet. So today we're diving into the twisted world of cults. We're uncovering stories of 3 cults you've probably never heard of. These are the stories they don't want you to know about. Okay, so picture this. It's the 1980s, and we're deep in the jungles of Southeast Asia. I'm talking like Indiana Jones levels of jungle, you know? Thick vines, creepy crawlies everywhere, that kind of vibe. And somewhere in this dense, humid wilderness, a group of people are gathering. But this isn't just some backpacking trip gone wrong. No. This is a group bound together by a belief system so dark, so twisted, it would make your skin crawl. They called themselves the Hollow Earth Cult, and they believed that the earth, the very ground we walk on, is actually hollow. And inside this hollow earth, well, that's where things get really freaky. They believed that ancient gods, beings of unimaginable power, were trapped inside, just waiting for the right moment to break free and unleash chaos upon the world. And guess what? These gods were hungry, like really hungry for blood. Yeah, you heard that right. Blood sacrifices. And not just like a little animal sacrifice or something. We're talking human sacrifices. Brutal, ritualistic murders carried out in the name of these supposed gods. At the helm of this twisted operation was a man known only as the Mouth of the Earth. Creepy name, right? But he wasn't just some random dude who decided to start a cult. He was charismatic, magnetic, the kind of person who could convince you to do anything. He claimed to have a direct line to the gods of the inner earth, who spoke to him in dreams. And what they desired was a lot of blood. Not just any blood, but the blood of the innocent. He convinced his followers that by sacrificing others, they would appease these gods. And once appeased, things would get really good for the cult members. They would be granted eternal life, ascend to the inner earth, become like gods. It was all a load of crap, but people bought it. They were desperate, looking for something to believe in, and the Mouth of the Earth gave them that belief. Now imagine for a second that you're living in this area. Maybe you're a local, maybe you're just passing through, but people are starting to disappear. At first, it's just whispers, rumors spreading through the villages. A farmer goes missing. A young couple out for a hike never returns. The authorities, they don't think much of it at first. It's the jungle, right? People get lost. It happens. But then the bodies start turning up. And guys, these aren't your typical missing persons cases. The bodies are mutilated, drained of blood, covered in strange symbols carved into their flesh. The authorities, they're baffled. They've never seen anything like it before. They don't know what they're dealing with, but they know one thing. There's a killer on the loose, and they need to catch him before he strikes again. Little did they know they weren't dealing with just one killer. They were dealing with an entire cult, a group of people so far gone, so deeply entrenched in their beliefs that they were willing to do the unthinkable. Eventually, the authorities, they start piecing things together. They find witnesses, people who had encountered the cult, heard the rumors. They discover the location of the cult's compound, hidden deep in the jungle. And when they finally raid the place, well, let's just say it's not pretty. They find altars stained with blood, walls covered in disturbing murals depicting human sacrifice, and remnants of bodies, proof that the cult's rituals were all too real. But the cult leader, the mouth of the earth, he's long gone, vanished into thin air, just like his victims. Some say he's still out there, hiding in the jungle, waiting for the right moment to reemerge and rebuild his twisted empire. Others believe he met his end in the jungle, consumed by the very forces he sought to control. Whatever happened to him, one thing is for sure. The Hollow Earth cult's reign of terror was over. But the fear, the memory of those brutal rituals, it lingered. A chilling reminder that sometimes the most terrifying monsters aren't found in the shadows, but in the hearts of men. If you thought the Hollow Earth cult was messed up, buckle up. This next story is on a whole other level of disturbing. Fast forward to the early 1990s, trading the jungles of Southeast Asia for the dark forests of Northern Europe. Picture this: mist clinging to towering pines, the ground covered in dead leaves, the air heavy with the scent of damp earth. This is where we find the children of the flame. The name is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the creepiness of this cult. Leading this group was a woman known only as Mother Flame, another super creepy cult leader name. She had this aura that drew people in. Her followers were like moths, completely enthralled by her every word. She preached about the end of the world, a cleansing fire that would consume everything. But she offered a way out, a path to salvation. And that path involved children. Now, this is where things take a really dark turn. Mother Flame, she believed that children were the key to surviving the coming apocalypse. She taught that children possessed a special kind of energy, a pure, untainted power that could be harnessed. But it wasn't just about harnessing their energy. Mother Flame believed that children were the key to communicating with ancient spirits, powerful entities that could protect them from the flames and lead them to a new world. A world where the children of the flame would rule supreme. But here's the really messed up part. These weren't her children, not in the traditional sense. These were children she had stolen, kidnapped from their homes in the dead of night. Dozens of them gone without a trace. Their families left to wonder, to hope against hope that their children were still out there, somewhere. But the truth was far more horrifying. These children were being held captive in the cult's secluded commune deep within the forest, subjected to rituals that would make your blood run cold. Now, I don't want to get into the really graphic details because honestly, some things are just too disturbing to talk about. But let's just say that these children, they were subjected to unimaginable horrors. They were starved, deprived of sleep, forced to undergo bizarre and painful rituals. Mother Flame, she would carve strange symbols into their skin, branding them with her mark. She said it was to protect them, to make them stronger, more attuned to the spirits. But in reality, it was all about control. It was about breaking their spirits, turning them into obedient followers who would do whatever she said. The children were forced to participate in nightly ceremonies, chanting strange words in languages they didn't understand, calling upon the spirits of fire. They were told that if they didn't comply, the spirits would drag them down to the underworld, where they would burn for eternity. It was a living nightmare, and there was no escape, or so Mother Flame thought. Okay, you guys, this last one, it's messed up, like seriously messed up. We're talking about the Vow of Silence cult. And let me tell you, these people were intense. They lived out in the middle of nowhere, in the deserts of North Africa, where it's hot as hell and there's nothing but sand for miles. I can't even imagine being stuck out there for 5 minutes, let alone choosing to live there. But these guys, they believed that silence was the key to like ultimate power or something. They thought that if they never spoke, they could talk to the gods of death. Yeah, you heard that right. The gods of death. And get this, to prove their devotion, they would actually cut out their own tongues. Can you even imagine the pain? I'm getting chills just thinking about it. They believed that by giving up their voices, they were protecting themselves from some ancient curse that would like kill them if they spoke the names of these death gods. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds pretty freaking extra to me. But hey, who am I to judge? So for years, this cult existed in total secrecy. Like nobody knew what the hell they were up to out there in the desert. People would join up, never to be heard from again. Poof, gone. It's like they just disappeared into thin air. Some people think they just got lost in the desert or died of dehydration or something. But others believe something much darker happened. You see, one day, a group of explorers stumbled across the cult's camp, and what they found, like it was like something out of a horror movie. There were bodies everywhere, hundreds of them, all just lying there in the sand. And you guessed it, every single one of them had their tongues cut out. But here's the really creepy part. Their mouths were all wide open like they were screaming, but there was no sound, just silence. It's like whatever killed them, it took their voices even after they were dead. Three cults, three totally messed up stories. And the scariest part is none of them really ended. Those blood rituals, those sacrifices, that creepy vow of silence, it's all still out there somewhere. If you want more stories of the darkest horrors lurking beneath the surface, like, subscribe and hit the bell for more holy fucking horror. The shadows are always watching, and so are we.